In this lesson, we're going to continue with the basics of Premiere Pro, and we're going to do a little montage here using video file and audio file, and we're going to discover more about importing and the project panel. So in the previous lesson, we saw that we can get some learning content from the home page here, and also if we create new project, first thing we can do is select assets from our computer. And the first thing I suggest is to create a folder to store everything of your project, because we saw that the files that we import, the source files, are not inside the Premiere Pro file, the Premiere Pro project file, but they are connected via link to a specific path in your computer. So here I just don't wanna, I wanna create a new project. I'm gonna call this lesson 03, and I don't wanna use any template. I don't wanna create automatically a sequence. So I'm just gonna start with an empty project, and I'm not gonna select anything from here. So by doing this, I will create an empty project, which is gonna be lesson 1. So we switch from import tab into the edit tab, and this is here the learning interface. We're going to change this into the essentials. There we go. So this is again back to the beginning. We don't have anything yet. We're going to start by using the project panel, and we're going to see some other features of this panel right here. Now we can import in many different ways. We already saw some of these ways, and I used some of my content in the previous video. So I want to show you also where you can get content from the web, and let's get a video and audio file. There are many websites that offer a lot of content talking about pictures and photos and audios. One of these is Pexels. I'm going to show you more website, but let's get started with this. And you can also search using images here in Google search or whatever search engine or Pexels. And what I want to do is, well, get into Pexels. And I'm going to use this search bar to search a video. I'm looking for a video of a woman, so I'm going to type woman here. And you can see how many video there are in here. And also you can change here and look for photos. But let's go for videos. So you can pick anyone you like. I'm going to go for this one. And you can see a preview of the video right here. And this one here is slow motion, meaning that it's going like slower than reality. You can also click on the little icon here and go back and forward. So this is the author, and you can say I like, you can download freely, clicking on this green button, and you can choose different resolution. So resolution is pretty important because this is going to affect the heaviness of the video, because these numbers here, they represent pixels. So the higher the number, the more pixel you have, the more quality, but also the heavier will be your file and also your montage and whatever you need to do. Now there are also higher resolution than this, but let's go here with full HD. So I'm gonna click and check this on and just click on the green button to download. I'm sorry this is in Italian, but it's pretty understandable for you. Now you can see here we also have a hint on the frame rate, which is 24 frames per second, and also the format is MP4. So I can maybe override this and call this woman yoga and save it. Okay, so now it's going to go into, well, it's going to go in your download folder unless you specific another folder. So as I suggested, you probably want to create a dedicated folder for your project and store everything inside that. So if I want to do that, it's pretty simple. I can just create a new project here, a new folder, and call it like project 03, and just store everything in there. I've already done that. So this is the video, and I also downloaded other videos and other sounds or audios. So let me go back and just bring this into the correct folder. So working organized, it's really important. Even if you're starting in your Windows or your Mac, try to build, a folder that contains like also subfolders. So we can say here videos or video clips, and then we can create another one called audio or music, sound effects, etc., etc. So this one here goes into the videos, of course. Okay, so again, you can donate to the author here if you want, and just let's go forward. Now, I want to show you, before we continue, some of the most important resolution. And there are like images explaining to you the various sides, also scale 1:1. For example, this first one here is a Wikipedia image. So if I type here resolution screen, you can find a lot of information about this. So let me show you this one here that is from Wikipedia. So you can see that we have really small formats, really small resolution for some really small screens. And then we have like, well, this is also the evolution of technology till today. So today we have arrived to really, enormous size like the 8K. So if we go here, this is 8K, meaning that is about 8,000 times 4,000. So there are also like other options, but still, pretty big. So you can check these files to see all the resolution you want. So this is 4K, and then you can see the others. And again, this is a file that I found on Wikipedia. Now, another important thing is the frame rate. But first, let's import our file inside our project. Now, there are, again, many ways to do this. You can also drag and drop directly. You can right-click here and import. So just click and choose the file you want to import. And what I want to do is use the folder right here. So instead of using directly the file that I can just, drag and drop either directly into the project panel, or I can drop it directly in the timeline, and that's going to create automatically a sequence, as you can see. Or you can, if you go up where the folder is stored like this, you can just click and drag the entire folder and drop it right here in the project panel. You cannot bring the folder directly to the timeline. You can see it is forbidden. So by dragging and dropping the entire folder, I also dropped the subfolders that I created. So all my hierarchy here, everything I've done for management or organization will be here. And this is, better if you want to just come in here and find everything perfectly organized. Now you can see there is a sequence that has been created automatically when you drag and drop directly to the timeline. Now that sequence, we can call this like sequence from clip. It's exactly, it has the same frame rate and the same resolution of the source file. So if we see here, now this is the duration also, it's the same of the sequence. So it's gonna inherit everything from the video. And here we can also see if it has sounds, and we can also sell it from here. You can see there is another track for the sound. And if we move forward with this bar, we can see other information here. Now we can also see the resolution is the same. So when you create a sequence directly, dragging here is like if you do right click and you do a new sequence from the clip. That's going to create an exact, well, it's not a copy. This is an empty container, and this is the source file. So this is where the juice is, where everything is. So this is just empty container. If I delete these files from here, there will not be nothing in there in those sequences. So let me go back, Control Z. And you can also create a folder, by the way, here. So you can do a new bin and call it like sequences. So you can continue and organize also your project from here. So I can take these sequences and just drop it in there just by clicking and dragging. And if you double click on a folder, here you're going to visualize only the content in that folder. And you can see it opens up another panel right here that you can close anytime. And you can go back to the entire project right here. So it's really useful to start to get organized and manage everything here, all your multimedia files and formats in a specific way. So you're gonna be quicker than after when you have a lot of videos and audios and other stuff. So also the videos, I'm gonna put in there like in video clips. So this is the same exact video, but I just imported 2 times. So it's like I'm creating a copy here. I can also right click and duplicate the video more. So these are just, 3 videos, the same with the same source file, but just duplicate. So I can also change their characteristics from here, their parameters. Now, we already saw in the previous video that I can activate here a preview, and I can also check the really small preview here, and I can take a snapshot to save this screen and remind me of the content of the video. Remember to do this, you click on these 3 bars, activate the preview area. You can also activate thumbnails here. And if you don't want that, just uncheck it here, the preview area. Otherwise, you're forced to go in the icon view where you can actually see, let me go back, these video clips right here. So also we saw the freeform. It's another way to visualize. But I think this is the most useful because here you can check the information. You can also, let's expand this. You can also organize this a little bit different. So this is the frame rate right here, but I want to see the resolution because it's really important. So I want to click and drag this column right here at the beginning because it's really important. And also the audio info, I can put it here at the beginning. And if you want more information here, you can right click and click on metadata display. So you can choose what to display in here. So for example, maybe I want to see, I don't know, the video duration, or yes, I want to see it. And then the audio in point, audio out point, audio duration. All this stuff can be turned off and on, depending on if you're interested in. File path also could be interesting, etc., etc. So once you're finished, you can save it as a new schema, or you can just say OK, and that's going to add like extra information in here. So you can see now we can see the file paths right here. So you can manage this in order to work and have more information of the files that you're working with. So I can click up now, just go all the way up, change visualization again, and back into the project. I can also right click here and create a new item, and it can be a sequence. And here I can choose another format. So let's say that I want to do something bigger. So let's go here to red and let's go like 4K. And here you have a lot of settings, and this is the proportions, and this one here is the frame rate. So let's say I want to do like 4K 24 frames per second. And here you find all other information if you're interested. So let's say OK. And you can see now this is a new sequence, which we can call 4K sequence. And now it's empty because when you create a sequence from 0, it's going to be empty. You can also create it from here. That's another way to create sequences. And now I want to get smaller. So I'm going to go here, legacy, and let's go like here, DV, and let's do like one of these. Let's check the resolutions. You can see this is a smaller resolution right here. And so let's say OK. And let's call this like smaller res, just to show you that you can do as many sequences as you want, and you can also reuse the same file over and over again. You can see it's telling us that the video is used 1 time, and also the audio here is used 1 time. If I continue to bring this into these other new resolution sequences, it's gonna be copied many times. So let's see what it's telling us here. This clip does not match the sequence settings. Change the sequence to match the clip settings or not. So if we do this, again, we are inheriting the properties from the video. So we can either do that or keep the sequence settings. So let's keep it. So now you can see that the video here hasn't got bigger. It's just that it has been cropped out. So we cannot see the rest of the image because this is a smaller resolution. So here in the smaller res, things will be cropped out unless we resize this. But we're going to see this later. I just want to show you that with one single source file, you can create as many sequences as you want. And now if I go back, you can see that it's telling me that this has been used 2 times. And now let's go in the 4K sequence. So double click to see it right here. So we see the timeline of the 4K sequence. And again, let's just click and drag and drop this in here. And again, it's telling me that the same thing. So I want to just keep the existing settings. Now you can see the file is smaller than the 4K screen because this was a full HD and it has less resolution, less pixels. So same source file, but 3 different sequences here with 3 different outcomes. So don't mistake the source files with the actual sequences. And here you can see the source. So if you double click here, it's going to show you the source. And if you double click here, it's going to show you the sequence, the program. So again, don't mistake these two because they look really similar, but they are different. And we're going to talk more about these panels and also the timeline panel and also the other panels later on. Just want to focus again on the import part. So other ways, we can do the import from here. So if I select, for example, some images that I have, these are, I think, full HD images. This is a video, and just gonna have some images right here. So I'm gonna select like these 5. You can see here I can select an entire folder if I want, and that's gonna bring in all the subfolders and everything as a hierarchy. And then I can decide if I want to create a new sequence directly from here. So I can call this sequence from import phase. And that's another way you can do it. Import, and there you go. This is the new sequence. It's going to bring the images as a sequence of file. And they don't have transition between one and the other. And if we see the properties here, you see that this is 25 frames per second. So if it doesn't ask anything, it's going to go for the standard. And this is the resolution that I think it's inherited from the images. And that's it. So we do also have a duration because each image is 5 seconds. So we have 25 seconds of video of montage. Now, if we right click, we can also go into the properties. The properties will show you the properties of the sequence or any other file. So the properties of the sequence here is the resolution, frame rate. These are the most important things. Also color space and audio, but mainly the most important things are the resolution and frame rate, and also the duration right here. Now, this is called the time code. Time code works like this. So 00 means, the first 20 means 0 hours. Then 00 next is going to be minutes. And then this is going to be seconds. And these are going to be frames. So let me see this other one. So right click, properties. And you can see we have a lot of other properties here. So first of all, the paths where we stored the source file. Remember to keep it always together with your project. Otherwise, it will be a missing file like the previous lesson. Then this is the codec, and this is the file size, resolution, frame rate, also the audio, and this is the duration. You can see it's 0 hours, 0 minutes, 18 seconds, and 0.3 frames. Pixel aspect ratio, this is also could be important, but right now we usually have the ratio 1:1, meaning that it's a square pixel. We don't have an alpha channel. And this is color space, etc., etc. And sorry, this is the codec again. And it's the format is MP4, the codec is H.264. So we have a lot of information from here. Now here we have a folder with no name, so I can click where the text is and I can call this like pictures. So that's going to be another like file format. And these are all JPEGs, so they don't have like frame rate because it's just 1 frame. But when you bring it in, it's gonna occupy like a certain time. So another way we saw also previously, if we double click here in the pictures and go into freeform view, is to use this view right here, which works kind of a dashboard. So I can click around and I can decide like visually which one is going to be first, which one is going to be last, etc., etc. And then when I'm finished, I can just pick just the first one and then control click and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can go using a selection sequence. And when I'm ready, I can either like right click also here and do a new sequence from clip like this, which is going to be mostly like the one that we just did. Otherwise, we can use, again, let's select everything. We can use the automate. Now here you can decide if you want to use the sort order or selection order. So we're going to use selection order. The placement is going to be sequentially, and we can use override edit, and also we can overlap the clip. So, and we can also decide the still clip duration. So let's do like 25 here frame and 25 frames, and apply the transition for everything. That's okay. So you can see it's substituting here. It's inserting that sequence inside this other sequence, and it's creating these transitions that are lasting like the same time of the duration of that clip. So again, many different ways to create sequences, which could be slideshows or could be video montages. Now, if we look for frame rate, we find more information here, and FPS means frame per second. So when you download or when you find or where you record your footage, could be 24, could be 30, could be 60. Now this depends on the device you're using and what are its capabilities. So for example, if you record a 24 frame per second, you're only going to have 24 images. So it's all about images. These are just sequences of images. So the more frame, the higher is this number, the more frames you have, the more fluid will be your video. And also, if you record at a higher number, you can create fluid slow motion effect. Otherwise, if you slow down the 24 frame per second, which is like the limit, like under this number, you're gonna see the single images, and it's not gonna look fluid. It's gonna look like laggy. So I'm gonna do also a demonstration of that. But again, this is another really important feature of your footage or of your video. So be careful on this parameter as well as the resolution. Now, also, if you want to know more about codec and format, don't mistake. So format, for example, is MP4, which is the like extension that you see also on the file. And this is the codec, which means compression, decompression, meaning that you can compress a video to make it, not so heavy. But when you play it on a player, you need to have also the possibility to do that by using a decompression. So codec is, like a language between the device that you're going to use to output your video and also the device that you're going to use to read the video. So it's kind of a write and read concept. But you can, if you are interested, you can discover more on that. Now let's also get a free audio file. Also, you can find a lot of free sounds and sound effects on the web. I've chosen this one here, Mix Kit, for this demonstration, but you also find other video guides in the channel explaining how to use this website. So also here we can find videos, music, sound effects. Let's go for music. And I'm not interested in anything in particular, so let's type like relax or relaxation. So we can press play to preview the music, and then we can click on download here, and there you go. So this is going to be MP3. Now usually we find MP3 files or WAV files, but there are also other formats and other compression also for audios. So I'm going to save this into my project 03 in the audio, music, and sound. There you go. So this is the first one. And if I go back here, let me show you, like this is like nature sound, ambient sound. Let me download also this. And you see that this is WAV, so it's another format, but you can use both formats in Premiere Pro. So I'm gonna save also this, and I'm just gonna use it for this demonstration. So you can see also that audio files have many different formats, and compression, decompression, etc., etc. Okay, I'm gonna close this, and let's jump back here. So let's say I want to add here an audio. So, well, actually, I'm gonna go back to my this one here, sequence from clip. This one already has audio, but you can add as many tracks as you want here. Like this is video one, then we have audio one, audio two, audio three. Let's import. So to import now, if I go in the folder, you can see there is nothing in the folder because I've imported this folder before I saved the new file. So I can import it directly in here. Right click, import, and then just select the two. Sorry, this is the previous project. There you go. Audio. So we can import both MP3, WAV, open, and there you go. Now we have the audio tracks. You can see it from this icon. You can press play, preview the sound. Okay, just click and drag here. It's gonna make a little bit of a noise. Okay, when you're happy, let's go in the list. You can see again the details right here. Just click and drag it right there. So this is going to be the music, but I can also add like some other ambient sound. And now I will hear everything together. So if I press play, I have the first video audio montage. Now I want to go back to the main folder here of the project. And what if I want to change this video right here? So if I go in the video clips, so I'm using now this one here, I can also substitute this with something else. So if I right click, I can access to many commands here. And if I go down, I can replace the footage. So if I replace the footage, I can choose any other footage from my computer. So let me just get any video here, like this one here. Select, and you can see now it's replaced, and since it's replaced in the source, it's also replaced here in the sequence where I place that source file. Now we can also, if we right click, we can also make it offline, like if it's not connected. So let's do like this. So you can see now the media is offline. So we either reconnect it or we can just switch to another video. So if again, right click here and I link media, well, I can still replace, but I can also link the media because now it's a missing link. And if I locate, and I'm gonna go back to locate the, let me see here. I need to find the Premiere folder here and locate the project 03, video clips, and then I relink this one back on. So here we are back on the same place. So you can access so many different commands from here. And another really interesting one is to reinterpret. So if we go to modify, we can reinterpret the footage right here. So if we click, now the frame rate from the file is 24 FPS. So that's the current frame rate, but we can assume that this is another frame rate. So we can assume this is like 10 frames per second instead of 24. So the duration also is going to be affected by this. So in this case, we have 18 seconds. If we decrease the frame rate, we're going to have a longer video, which is going to be 43 seconds, more or less. Instead, if we increase this like to 60 frames per second, we're going to have less duration. So it means that it's going to go faster. So if I change this to 10 frames per second, it's going to be slower. And we can get a slow motion effect, but also this is going to be not good because we only have 10 frames per second, which is not enough. So let's do OK. And if I want to see this, you can see it changes from the other copies. Now this is 10 FPS because we reinterpret the data here. So if I double click here, it's going to open up the source. And if I press play, we can see that it's going really slow. So in a really slow motion, because it was already kind of a slow motion. Now it's added to the existing slow motion. It's going even slower, but we can start to see the passage from one image to the other, from one frame to the other. So be careful on how much you lower this value, because the more you're gonna lower it, the more you're gonna see the passage from one frame to the other, and you're not gonna see the fluidity. It's pretty visible. So in ancient time, like at the beginning of cinema, like with the Lumiere brothers, videos they went like, well, not videos, but the footage went really laggy like this, so we could see each single frame. Today, if we go higher than 24 FPS, that's not, visible. You will not perceive the passage from one frame to the other. So frame rate is really important, and also the speed, the duration are connected to the frame rate. So again, if I reinterpret and let's make this like assume this will be 90 frames per second, so it's gonna go much faster, and it's kind of playing now at the actual speed of this original footage probably. So if you want to go faster than that, we can just increase and increase and increase. Or another way is to right click and we can go to speed and duration. Now there are other things in here, but we're not gonna see everything in this video. Let's just finish with the speed and duration. So here I can say, okay, just go like 300 times, 3 times faster, so 300%. And let's press play. So you can see now it's pretty fast, and it's also, you know, it's pretty fast, and it's also looking good because when we increase the speed, we're having like, we need to multiply this by 300%. So we have like, about 80, 90 frame per second. If we decrease the speed, it's the same thing. So if I go like 10% speed, that's going to be a much longer video, but probably we will see let's play here in the program. So we will see again the lagging. So again, don't confuse the source file from the program file. So you can see now this is this lower one, and it's here in the source file. Now we will come back on talking about timing and the possibility to change time and do slow motion and faster and slower footage. But I'm gonna finish this video with the insert feature. So here in the program. So if I use, for example, here an image, okay? So if I click and drag this image right here on directly in the program, it's gonna switch and it's gonna show me the source. Instead, if I'm working here in the sequence and I click and drag, you can see it's telling me if I want to insert, overlay, insert after, insert before. So insert before is going to put it here at the beginning before the actual current footage. If I click after, it's going to go after. And I'm using Control Z to go back. If I click overlay, it's going to go on the track above. So it's going to override. If it doesn't have an alpha channel, it's going to override completely the video in that point. If I use insert, it's gonna go like in between. It's gonna create a space and it's gonna put that footage between that space that has been created. So this is like cutting and moving tracks. So it's automated operation. Replace is just gonna replace the entire footage with with the new footage, or in this case an image. And lastly, we have override. So override, you see, let me just put it here again in the middle. So if I do override, it's just gonna override without like creating space and then moving. So you're gonna override totally this part of the footage, sacrificing that part. So it's not gonna be in there anymore. So don't mistake this with the replace, because it's going to replace it totally, or the standard insert, which is going to be like creating some space. So it's going to stop the video here, it's going to show the other, and then it's going to get the video tracks back here. So this will be all for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe to the channel to stay updated. Please join the channel to support us. Check out all the video courses and video guides. and see you in the next lesson.